Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. When we last left off, we figured out that Grandis is not terribly close to the village of Kalinka, so we have enough time to go stop him before he goes destroy everyone. The catch is that we don't have a boat to get to Kalinka, so we're going to have to go through a pretty dangerous dungeon. Also, we got a new item somewhere. What is it? Pear scarf is called? Is it an accessory? Oh, it's a thunder accessory. Okay, that's definitely going to get equipped on somebody. The question is, who gets it? Is it Dusk? This might be for Dusk. Yep. So now he's going to have 50% resistance against electric-based attacks. There goes some of his defense. But that's okay. It is worth it for a little boost in magical defense. Along with that, Uri learned a new tech. What you got? Quad Kunai? Is that it? Agility minus 18? That might be it. That is probably it. Unless he was learning a new spell. I'm pretty sure, though, it was a new tech, so that was probably it. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. We got a task to do, by the way, before we head out to save Kalinka. We need to head back to Neraka for a couple of reasons. Fuzzy Images, by the way, is asking in the chat, where are you going to be doing GMT? What? I mean, GMT is the international time, like the time that does not change because of daylight saving time. So I write that there for people in Europe, basically. Where is everyone up here? What if I need a new sword made or something? Well, the good news is we don't need a new sword yet. Eventually, we're going to come back up here and get those legendary hilts. There is a time limit that we have to do that. There's going to be a point in the game where we can't do that anymore. But that point is not yet. Sigh. I'm still here. Why don't you leave? So what is this one? Attack +2? That's going to Lyn. One reason we are here is to get Lyn back that one bow. We got a curious adventurous child. It is quiet as a ghost village around here. Exploring Neraka Palace is not as interesting as I had thought it would be. Former archer of Princess Rachel's. If you are looking for any of the palace merchants, they are all still getting their wares from where they had taken refuge within the castle walls. It may still be a while before they are able to set up everything back out here and reopen shop. Definitely a good thing, then, that the shop I'm looking for is inside. Also, I kind of feel bad for that soldier if he was one of them that was with Princess Rachel. He should have looked back. Sigh. I'm going to miss that girl. We all loved her very much. We shouldn't have ran away. Deeper sigh. No, you definitely needed to run away. You just needed to make sure that she was running with you. And this item apparently has dialogue. Princess Rachel. She was standing right here among these flowers when we first met her face to face. Such a contented smile on her face as she had been dreamily gazing up into the sky. She possessed a smile that could easily break hearts made like stone from sorrow to fear, or fear. Yet now she is gone, destroyed by the hands of evil. Hey, what's this? A parting gift that the princess left behind for us? I guess we could look at it that way. So this one is more attack. Let us start by going to the King and Queen, because that is my primary objective here. His Majesty and Queen Lorana will be very happy to see you alive and well. Please do come on through. It is you four! Praise Serena! Have you come to see Her Majesty and King Hotaru? Oh, please do come on in. I am sure that the sight of you four alive will do much to cheer their spirits. The loss of their daughter was a devastation to them, as you can imagine. No, I can't imagine. Who might this be? It's you! Greetings, Majesties. We're glad to see you on your thrones in this palace rather than ogres. I am so glad to see you four children alive. My heart is greatly lifted into the embrace of solace by this. So Boles was successful in rescuing you. He had immediately left Poeska's lake when the notification of your disappearance had come to us from a nurse who'd been tending to Jersey, although it was a long time after we found her that Jersey had found both the strength and the heart to speak to the nurse of what she had seen happen to you four. And now you have found that Kalinka is next in line to be laid to waste by the darkness. It seems there is no end to their hatred of every soul who lives on Elvenia, nor is there an end to the battles you must fight to protect us. Every time you succeed in saving one Elvenian, you turn around to find that you must now save another. In case you were wondering, all of your friends have managed to survive as well. Tessera, Paprika, Jersey, and Boles too, of course, as you are already aware. The only possible exception is Admiral William and his siblings in the Leviathan fleet. At some point late in the fight, the Rosalina appeared to have retreated from Poeska's lake, as if she'd been badly damaged, and we've not heard from William or the other 6 fleet members since. We hope they are all right, wherever they are. Yeah, Paprika told us about that. Was it really the elf guy in black that she thought she saw? Or was it one of the ogres? It must have been the ogres, although I can't imagine what they could have shot her down with. Your Majesties? Is it really true that Princess Rachel... So, the other knights must have told you. Yes, our daughter, Rachel, is no longer alive. This is certainly a situation, I gotta say. Normally in these kind of games, the princess eventually is saved. Yet in this one, nope. Very much not alive. Not only killed, but very brutally so. She was killed by the true leader of the army that had intended to destroy Neraka, a demon named Swanir. The Elven scouts must have mistaken Swanir for Gorgon when they had first caught sight of the army coming toward Neraka, because they heard Swanir call himself as much. From what one of the guards I ran into at Macros Islands had said as he attempted to taunt me into fighting him, it seems that Swanir had been exalting himself above the ogre demon race's true master, and deliberately contradicted many of Gorgon Ghidra's orders. Master. What? I lost track of what was being said there. So, Gorgon must have just happened to join in the battle when he appeared in front of us. Probably by mere chance, and he had never been present in this whole mess at any time beforehand, just the one having the first given the order to move on Neraka and destroy her. Swanir. That was what I heard Gorgon call his servant when I was listening in on their conversation about Grandis' intended destruction of Kalinka. So it would seem even servants will betray loyalty to masters among the darkness. It really is true that evil fails perhaps only because it turns and destroys its own. I wish it would do that faster. Hard to believe that there are actually people out there who are more conniving and bloodthirsty than even Lunas Elro Knight himself, whom they claim to serve. And from what you have told us concerning your run-in with Gorgon Ghidra, it would seem that Swanir was a far more merciless and cruel warrior than even Gorgon could have ever hoped to be. Had it been Swanir who threatened you by taking Jersey hostage, he wouldn't have thought twice to break his promise and kill her regardless, after fighting you. We could guess of his cruelty just by the sight of my poor Rachel's nearly unrecognizable body when we had finally found her. Sigh, our poor, helpless daughter. We are really sorry to hear this about Rachel. We were hoping by a tiny thread that everything we'd heard from the people back in the city was just a mistake on their part, that her death wasn't confirmed absolute, and that maybe she was still alive out there somewhere in Puesca's Lake, waiting to be found. Apparently, on the way here, they had conversations with some of the town folk. It's definitely a shame that we don't actually get to explore the city proper. Memory limitations being what they were. She was a wonderful woman in many ways. Our hearts go out to you in your devastating loss, Your Majesties. But please take solace that Rachel sleeps peacefully somewhere up there in heaven, waiting happily for the day when she will run to the embrace of her mother and father in an eternal reunion. You are too kind, all of you. We, too, are reassured that Rachel is in a place where evil may never be able to touch her again. That is still some comfort to us, despite our dreams of the terrible pain she must have suffered just before she closed her eyes for good. Though my husband and I may still feel sadness for Rachel for a long time to come, we have probably already cried as many tears as we could. We must live on and protect the kingdom we love and cherish for Rachel's sake, for that is what she died trying to do. Queen Neraka sadly continues, I only wish those knights who had been guarding her would come to this same realization and would be comforted therefore. And they aren't the only ones whose spirits have been broken, it seems. Not only them, but none of the knights who survived the battle are doing very well emotionally. Poor Miss Hartshorn is the prime example among them too. But I guess it is only to be expected. Jersey? What does Your Majesty mean by that? We were clued into the mental struggles that Jersey has apparently been suffering in her heart well before she ever had the misfortune to doom herself by coming to Lorana and myself to humbly request that she be allowed to participate in the war. Yes, she felt it necessary to accompany us forward as one of our guardians in the battle, and against an enemy who was reputedly one of the strongest servants of the Lord of Darkness, and thus one of the greatest threats to this world's innocence. She thought the only way to erase what she believed to be her many past failings was to fight in such a battle, one that would determine whether an entire kingdom would live on or perish. Sigh. Perhaps all of Elvenia. And so it was the final killing strike to her spirit to see that noble goal of hers, what was in her mind her lastest effort to prove herself worthy of being loved by others, go up in flames the way it did. She no doubt blames herself for the deaths of all her friends. She must be devastated to be the only one who survived among all 10 members of the White Hand. Serena, help the poor girl. Jersey tried her best to help everyone she loved, and all of Elvenia, truthfully. But because of the existence of something called evil in this universe, sometimes even the noblest intentions are doomed to failure. She must realize that she is not to blame for anything that happened at Puesca's that day. Are we able to see her right now? I bet we could have her snapped out of her depression and beaming from ear to ear in no time. I know that you could, dear child, and would encourage you to do whatever you could to slay the demon that still haunts Jersey's spirit. But I'm afraid that she is still recovering in the palace wards used to hospitalize those soldiers who were wounded, and she has barely been conscious for any extended period of time since the battle. The others have already fully recovering, but Jersey's wounds, both to her body and her heart, were something else altogether. I imagine that whatever was left of her own sheer will at the healing spell Dusk managed to cast upon her were all that stood in the way of Jersey's having immediately perished from Gorgon's magic. Murray lowers his head. I see. We will not disturb her then. Please do try to see her again the next time you all journey by this way, when Jersey should be feeling better. I know she will be gladdened to see you in any case. Right. And now, you should hurry on to save your Kalinka, my children. I know everyone in the city is glad that you've taken the time to come all the way here and let us know you're all right after that fight with Gorgon, but time is no doubt of the essence. Go quickly. Allow us to give you this sword as our way of helping you stop this evil you must now face for Kalinka's sake. You receive Dusk's fifth weapon, the sword that brings death to its enemies by the freezing touch of the Lamoon winds, the Northern Cross. We will pray sincerely for you all. This is the primary reason that we came here. It doesn't hit twice, but having an elemental strength is probably going to be really helpful. In fact, that is such a nice weapon, we might actually just let Dusk keep this, because that is quite an attack there. Unfortunately, the next boss we're going to be fighting is actually strong against the element that this is. But I'm gonna probably try to keep it on him for the sake of not forgetting it whenever we go up against Grandis. Now, where's the identity book? I want to check if this has any special attributes besides being water elemental. Or ice elemental, as the case may be. Nope, no magical spells. So it's just a thing to equip. We'll go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and quickly finish exploring the castle, see what other folks have to say. My sword has served me well. She enabled me to survive out there. And she must now be retired, never to rise from her place of rest on the shelf above my bed again. The time of bloodshed is over, and I hope it will never return. Here's hoping. I am so sorry we did this, my princess. Even if it meant going against your wishes, I wish we had stayed with you when the Lancers came for you. Then, maybe you would still be alive. Don't say that. I'm sure Rachel does not think that you failed her. If anything, she deceived you by not running with you. His Majesty and Queen Lorana will be very happy to see you alive and well. Please do come on through. Nope, you guys do not say anything else now that we've already seen them. Let's start by heading this way. Oh, there's a group of people here. A refugee. I owned a fairly successful jewelry shop within Neraka City from back before we all had to flee into hiding from Gorgon Ghidra's oncoming armies. I remember over all those years how many timid, lovesick men I had managed to help win the hearts of the women they worshipped, with the appropriate pendant or birthstone. Laugh. I guess it'll be back to life as normal again for me soon. Poor Princess Rachel. The knight said that when they finally found her body at the side of the lake, it was quite evident that whoever slew her had done so in as cruel and barbaric a manner as he knew possible. It is indeed a shame. She was a very admirable person. Whenever we go against Wanir, or whatever his name is, we're going to have to make sure we absolutely kill him as much as possible. Looks like we can finally go back to our homes. Somehow, our kingdom remains standing. It is certainly quite impressive, we gotta admit. The Knights of the Holy Army fought so hard just for us, who were completely helpless to do anything to defend ourselves from the Dark Lord's crazed legions. I mean, losing so much of each other and their princess, not to mention their having to fight and slay it all in the first place. I hope they never have to go through something like that again. You will never see me actually take place in a war. For one thing, I am allergic to pain. For another, I really don't want to kill. And yet the funny thing is, I fantasize about being a Pokemon and going into battle like that. Somehow, it sounds more fun. Despite our having won this fight, it just feels as though the Holy City will never quite be herself again. Even those of my friends who did not have to fight in that battle themselves have all admitted that something of her innocence has been forever lost. Princess Rachel. Oh dear, beloved princess. Why did you have to sacrifice yourself so needlessly like that, ordering those who wanted to protect you to run away and leave you to fight a battle you knew very well you could not survive? My poor, poor Princess Rachel. I guess these herbalists are not going to say anything of interest? Nope, you are actually saying a thing. Brave and gentle knights of another world, who nobly fought impossible odds at the saving grace of the Holy Army when it was in dire need, welcome! I am at your service. Tee. I don't need anything. I'm gonna have to sell something. Strikeback is pointing out, well, in Pokemon you just knock your opponent out. Well, yeah, but also get knocked out. Part of the reason I am most interested in being a Nidoran, a poison-type Pokemon, is because I don't have to worry so much about being poisoned myself. That don't sound fun. I guess it should not be a surprise that this girl is slower to recover from her injuries than the other wounded knights were. As she faced a monster like Gorgonghidra, then she is certainly blessed by guardian angels to still be breathing at all. She is the only patient remaining, so there are a few beds left available in this inn if you are feeling tired. Okay, well, I was gonna say no, but the only option for no is this option again, so how kind of you to offer? Sleep tight then, my dear children. Actually, for all I know, we needed to be restored anyway. Not sure. Poor girl. Her wounds just aren't healing very well at all, and day by day she moans and cries out in her sleep, as though she consistently suffers nightmares. Oh yeah, she's definitely going to be suffering from some PST. PSD, whichever it is. Jersey's dreaming. No, please, I beg you, whimper. Don't leave me to die in the darkness. Oh man. We weren't actually trying to, if it helps you feel better. Hi Texas says, the life of a Pokemon. Run around in the wild till someone catch you and then you sit in Bill's PC for the rest of your life. Okay, if there's one thing I am not at all interested about being a Pokemon, it is being stored on the PC. I have this really big fear of what if the cloud crashes? Darling, you mustn't think those things. You were only fighting to protect me. Right? It isn't your fault any of this happened. Okay, should have talked to the other person first. I've somehow managed to return home to you, sweetheart. Yet, how can you ever allow me to embrace you with hands stained with blood from this day forward? I would have no right to. It is always weird whenever we come across this sort of conversation in RPGs. Not just in this game, but a lot of RPGs. There are two people having a conversation, and one of them is a continuation of the conversation. And so often, it is easy to go on to the end of the conversation first. It is amazing that any of us were able to come back alive after fighting such a terrifying foe. But it is over now. The Holy Army's duty is fulfilled. Let us pray that Serena's kingdom will never be endangered again, and that no one else will ever have to know the horror of fighting as we did. We're safe now, at long last. You were right, children. Here I was, trying to make peace with a death that I thought for sure would come for me before this battle would be over, yet I am one among the meager 30% or so who survived. I guess it was not time for me to go to heaven after all. I am grateful to live to see another day. We're glad that you are, sister. As gloomily as you were anticipating your own end, we thought for sure it could not be helped. Hee, I guess I was being a little cynical, wasn't I? Cute giggle. But aren't you proud of me? I managed to defeat 2 of the demons all on my own during that fight. You know what? Good for you. Harry holds up his hand for a high five. Hey, way to go, chick. That is definitely some good news. Besides the fact that other people died instead. I do remember how she was kind of welcoming, or rather not welcoming, but accepting her impending doom. That was certainly depressing, so good to know that she has survived. Okay, I got some shopping to do, and we're gonna go on a break here. I need to kind of figure out what I'm gonna sell so that I can afford that one bow again.